Hey there, this is Akshat Madan and welcome back to a new video. And in this video, I'll be mostly telling my story of being a freelancer for around 2 years. I built projects for clients across the globe in the domain of mobile app development, web development. I wrote Python scripts. I built AI and computer vision projects. I started freelancing when I was in the 4th semester of my bachelor's in computer science and continued it till my final year. And after that, I transitioned into a full-time job of being a mobile team lead at a health tech startup. And now also I'm not freelancing, I am into a full-time job. And I'll be telling you the reasons why and how I transitioned from freelancing to full-time job and how easy it is. Do interviewers ask you questions on this, like why did you do freelancing, why not corporate job just after graduation? And I did not choose to go ahead with on-campus placement. I did sit in the on-campus placement, but I did not join that company. I wanted to explore more in the startup space because I had been working with startups and founders for the 2 years of my college, and then I chose to work with the startup itself as soon as I graduated. We made around 20 lakhs in our college when we were doing freelancing, and this amount is not to motivate or demotivate anyone. It is just as a reference that if you also are choosing to go ahead with freelancing in your college, then this amount is possible. And this is not a big amount or this is not a small amount. It is a good amount. At least it can cover your college expenses. And this did it for me. Plus my friend also, because we both were doing freelancing together. Whenever any client used to come, my friend used to take care of all the operations and logistics and managing the people who were working under us. And I mostly took care of the implementation, the tech part. And this thing actually helped us a lot because we were like best friends. And when you are working with your friends, you don't realize that you're working. It is just like you're enjoying. So this actually helped us to build something and work with a lot of founders across the globe. Because I was good at tech, so I was taking care of the tech. He was good at design, ops, and managing people, so he was doing that. And because of this collaboration only, we were able to achieve this milestone. So let's start from the scratch, how I started. And in between, I'll be answering almost all of the questions that you guys have asked in my stories and in the comments. So first question is why I started freelancing and what can actually motivate you to start freelancing. So here I want to say that you can or you should only start freelancing when you have mastered one skill. So that skill for me was mobile app development using cross-platform framework called Flutter. So in my first year, I started with Python because it was in our syllabus. So I built games, I built scripts, I also built some data science projects. So now also if you go on my channel and check out my oldest videos, they are on data science itself because Python was my first programming language. And before this college, I did not do much of programming. Yes, I had computers in my 11th and 12th, but it was very basic. I did not understand anything and I just learned it for the sake of exams. The actual understanding programming concepts, I did in my college itself, in my first year. So Python was my first programming language, but almost all of us have a dream of building something of our own. So like that only me and my friend also had a dream of building our own app. So we were thinking to build an application for memes. We wanted to create an application where people can create memes, edit memes, share memes, basically a community of memes. So because of this only, I started learning mobile app development. And Flutter was a framework. During this time, I also realized that in the market, in the online space, there is a lack of Flutter tutorials. And alongside Python, I started uploading videos on Flutter and I saw a lot of attraction there. So that's when I decided to go all into the Flutter. And because of those videos, I'm coming to a very important point right now. So do focus over here. So because of those videos and the initial effort that I took to build projects and share it with the community through YouTube, through LinkedIn, GitHub, that actually helped me to crack our first client. Because when you are open in the community, you are showing the world what you are building, then people across the globe can watch you, not just your own country. People across the globe see your work and they reach out to you. So it becomes very important for an individual contributor or a freelancer to be social and focus on networking. So 2 takeaways from here. One is you have to master one skill. If you want to go into freelancing for web development, be a master of it. You cannot survive at all if you are just a beginner or an intermediate. Because most of the people on the internet are saying that, hey, just leave your job and start your own business, start freelancing. They are just fake gurus. You don't have to leave your job if you are not a master of one thing. Especially in the freelancing space, you cannot say that, hey, I did DS here, I did lead code, I can be a good freelancer, I can make 5 lakhs a month. No, that is not true. You have to be a pro hardcore developer if you are entering into freelancing for the software development domain. So point number 1, be a master of one thing or one skill. It can be tech, it can be non-tech, marketing, management, product management, AI, it can be anything, it can be blockchain, cloud, anything, but be a master of it. You should be better than 80 to 90% of the folks working in that space. Then only you can think of starting a freelancing career, because here nobody is going to protect you. If you did one thing bad and if your client posts about you on the internet, nobody's going to reach out to you. So be better than most of the folks. Second thing, networking. You have to publish your work. And by publishing your work, I don't mean that you just build a to-do app or you just build a simple AI application by just copying the code from ChatGPT and you are saying on the internet, on the LinkedIn or on the GitHub that, hey, I built this, like it, comment it. No. That is good. Publish it, but don't vocalize. Don't create a voice around it. Create a voice when you have published something significant. People get confused when I say that build in public or talk about the thing that you're building. You don't have to say, hey, day 1 of building to-do app, day 1 of building e-commerce app. No, they are good. Document your journeys, but at the end you say that, hey, these are my 30 days. Now I have published my work. Because at the end, if you're just publishing, hey, I just wrote 5 lines of code, 10 lines of code, and here is my work, you're just losing credibility, right? You're just publishing the work that can be easily done using ChatGPT. So don't publish for the sake of publishing. Publish something significant out in the market. Okay. So number 1, skill. Second, networking and publishing your work. Now the next thing that happened for me was COVID. So during COVID time, we don't have to go to the college. So I was all at home. So that actually gave me a lot of time to invest on myself. Every day I was watching tutorials, I was learning from the internet, and not just mobile app development. I learned video editing, I learned Photoshop, I learned AI, I learned data science, and I also learned mobile app development for sure. So this whole, I also learned Figma, I also learned product designing. So all of these skills actually helped me become an individual contributor. Because when you are into freelancing, in a company, what happens? You are just hired for a dedicated role. If you're hired for writing a piece of code, you will be writing a piece of code. You won't be designing banners. You won't be designing thumbnails, right? You won't be strategizing your social media. There will be people working for that work, right? But in freelancing, what happens? You yourself are a company, right? You have to do marketing, you have to do tech, you have to do execution, you have to do managing the people if you have under you or with you. So you are the CEO and you are yourself the company, right? In freelancing. So you cannot say that I don't know this. So that's why I published like this itself. I mean to say that, hey, I don't know how to make a thumbnail. So that's why I just published a video like that without a thumbnail. No, you cannot give excuses when you're into freelancing. So that's why I say that freelancing is not easy. It is actually much harder than doing a job. Because if you are someone who is thinking to not go for a job and just do freelancing, then you cannot be easy on yourself. So over here, the takeaway I would say will be time management. Yes, I got lucky with COVID that I got a lot of time. I did not have to go to the college and I invested all of my time in freelancing. But now because that era is gone and you have to think how will you do it? So that is up to you. How will you manage your time with college? If you're into such college where attendance is not compulsory like BITS, then you can think of doing it. But if your college has an attendance compulsory thing, then you have to think about how will you do it. So this is a decision that you have to take. Next thing that comes is the places where you have to publish your freelancing profile, or from where will you get clients, the sources, the lead generation, the clients, right? So Fiverr, no. Upwork, no. These things did not work for me. I did not get even a single client on Fiverr and Upwork. The people who are already there, the people who have mastered Fiverr and Upwork, they can definitely make it a source of leads. But because I started freelancing in 2020, I was kind of late. The platforms are saturated. The things that work for me are YouTube, LinkedIn, and Instagram. We worked with 10 clients in 2 years, and all of the 10 clients came from these 3 sources: YouTube, LinkedIn, and Instagram. No other source worked for me. Even cold mailing did not work for me. Maybe I did not execute the strategy in the right way. That's on me. Because I was still in college, I had to do my college work, so I did not invest a lot of time in cold mailing, learning cold mailing, digital marketing, and all of that, because I'm a techie and I wanted to invest all of my time in my skill itself. And because I was already getting clients from these three spaces, it was not necessary for me to invest more time on other lead generation sources. So over here, I want to say that you have to be picky. You cannot just listen to anyone and start doing that. Like tomorrow, if you will hear a creator saying, hey, cold mailing is the best thing and you should learn it, you will run behind it. No, you should not do it. If you think that LinkedIn you can master and you can attract clients on LinkedIn, focus on that itself. Master one channel first and then go to the second channel. Don't listen to random people on the internet, even to me, right? You are watching this video and you are now listening to me. So it can happen that whatever channels or the ways that I am telling might not work for you, or freelancing might not be for you. Against your parents and leave the on-campus placement and go for freelancing. It worked for me because I did some good things at the right time, right? Okay, coming back to the topic, lead generation for me, LinkedIn, Instagram, and YouTube. I was super active on YouTube. I published like 300 videos in like 2 years, and those videos acted as the medium of getting more clients because I was teaching Flutter, I was teaching data science, I was teaching Python. That attracted the clients because they also watch YouTube and they saw that, hey, this guy is already teaching it. So let's reach out to this guy and give him a project, right? On LinkedIn, I was sharing resources, I was sharing roadmaps, I was sharing the steps of being a freelancer, of mobile app development. I was clearing people's doubts. So that attracted more people across the globe. So I think the first takeaway that I told, that networking and publishing your work, is the same thing that I just told. That can act as the lead generation sources for you. Next thing that I want to talk about is your team or the people who are going to execute your project, right? I did not do freelancing alone, right? I had my friend who was with me, as I told, and we had 2 to 3 more people who were working with us. The ground soldiers, whom we call, the people who actually write the code, and I was there to review their code. I was there to check their code. I was there to guide them, help them, right? My friend who was there, he was helping me with designing, prototyping, managing clients, so that I can focus on my content itself. I can get more clients. I can be the face of this small group that we are creating of freelancers, and my team can actually execute the quality work and deliver. So delegation is very important. But if you want to become an individual contributor, yes, I have something for you. In that case, do not focus on getting more clients. Focus on getting one client and try to deliver the best work. Do not get second client till your first client is happy with you, right? Try to get more work from the first client itself, right? Be his go-to guy, right? If he has any work in tech, he will come to you. That will help you as an individual contributor, because if you will get more and more clients, you won't be able to cop up and you will lose your credibility. You will not be able to deliver and you will lose it. So for individual contributors, you have to focus on single client. You have to focus on one client. If that client is going, then focus on getting the second client. In case you are building a freelancing business with your friends or group, then one person has to be super social. Like in my case, I was that guy who was building videos, who was shooting videos, who was creating content on the internet. That actually created a channel for us to get more clients. And then we had the team who was working on the projects. Next very important thing is execution. So with a lot of clients, we face a lot of challenges because when someone reaches out to you, they think that you are the master, right? Whatever they say, you will build it. It's not like that. Many times your clients will demand the things that are not possible, that are not feasible. In that case, you have to learn to say no. You have to learn to say no to people. If you think that you cannot build this, or if you think that the client is demanding a thing that is not correct, say no. If just to satisfy the client you will say yes, you will end up losing that client. This is my experience, and we have lost clients because of this. We thought that if we will say no, the clients will go away. It is not like that. If you will be transparent and you will say that, hey, this might not be possible in this time, or this is not technically feasible, or your expertise do not match this requirement, be transparent at that time. Because if you will say yes and you don't know that, you will lose interest and you will start delaying the deadlines, and then you will end up losing the client. One more thing in execution is how to execute a project. Let's say you got your first client and now your actual struggle starts, because you got a client, that is good, but now you have to satisfy that client, right? So we used to do projects in milestones. That hey, this is the project. Let's say you have to build a application for event booking, right? The client is an event organizer, and he is trying to build an application where people can come and they can book event tickets. So you have to divide the project, and you have to be transparent about this to your client, that hey, we are going to divide the projects into 6 milestones. This project is going to go ahead for 5 months. It is going to every milestone will have its individual cost. Let's say first milestone will be the place where we will be designing the app, wireframing it, creating a plan on Notion, deliverables, SOWs, then meetings with the client for getting all the information, the knowledge about the product. And let's say you also included creating an authentication layer for the product in the first milestone. Let's say you do time estimations, right? Let's say for all of this, you are going to spend, let's say 60 hours, right? Now, what is your hourly rate? Okay, give my example. I started with an hourly rate of $12 an hour, right? When I was in college, right? Slowly, when we thought that we are getting name in the market, we are having a name in the market, we came to $20 an hour. So you multiply it with that hours, a number of hours that you want to invest, and don't cheat with the client. That is not going to help us at all. You will say that, okay, it is like 20 into 60, 20 into 60, 1200, so $1,200, and you will say that, okay, let's just increase it to $2,000. Don't try to cheat, right? You're starting a business, so try to be honest initially, give the quality work in good cost to the client, and you will win the trust. So if it is costing you $1,200, if your rate is $20 and it is costing you 60 hours, charge $1,200. That is good amount. And this is for milestone number 1. If your client is not paying you the payment of milestone 1 after successful delivery, and he is asking you to go ahead with the milestone 2, stop the project. Okay, stop the project. If your client cannot pay you for small % of the work that you have delivered, then he might give you problems in the future for rest of the work. So stop the work, pause the work, send an email that, hey, we cannot move forward because you have not paid the amount for milestone number 1 after successful delivery. We cannot go ahead with. You have to act professionally. Otherwise, people will think you are a college student and they can take advantage of you, and you will end up losing time. You will end up losing your placement. You will end up losing your effort and money and everything, right? You have to act professionally and try to not get cheated, and don't cheat anyone. And always have SOWs via mail. Do not keep you can keep the daily communication on WhatsApp. We also have done it, but try to have some standard channels. Like if you're signing an SOW is very important. Statement of work, right? Which contains the work that you're going to deliver for every milestone. And that needs to be super, super detailed. For an example, we had this problem. We mentioned in the SOW that we are going to implement an authentication layer. Right? But we did not specify which all authentication layer. Google login, Apple login, Facebook login, mobile authentication, OTP, email password, or Discord login, which authentication. It was not specified, and client demanded us 5 different types of authentication from us. And we ended up spending like 20-30 hours just on that. So in your SOW, you have to define every single piece of information. So if you are going to implement OTP, phone OTP authentication, define it. Which all third-party tools you're going to use. You're going to use Firebase, Superbase, define it. If you're not going to write documentation of the product, don't specify it that, hey, documentation is not included. Documentation is going to take like 30 hours, might take 30 hours if you are going to write it professionally. And for every piece of the information that you have delivered, then it is going to take a lot of hours. So if you're not including that or counting that in your cost, do not specify that in your SOW. Account for the meeting times. If you are going to have 2 meetings in a week, 1 hour, account that cost in your SOW. That, hey, we are going to have 2 meetings weekly, and it is going to be one hour, so around $40 included in the milestone. So this is how you can act as a professional freelancer. Otherwise, anyone can be a freelancer. Today you say that, hey, I'm a freelancer, right? And on your LinkedIn, you will say, hey, I'm looking for work, and I'm looking for work, and I'm a freelancer. That does not make you a freelancer. Freelancing means you are a company yourself. You are the CEO yourself, and you have to learn all of these things. And all of these things you will be learning eventually. Now, I think I've covered a lot of things. Now at the end, I want to talk about why I switched from freelancing to job. So point number one is freelancing was good for me when I was in college, because yes, it acted as a good source of income for us. We did not have to rely on anyone for our daily, monthly expenses. That was good. I was able to buy some of the equipments for my YouTube. For a good laptop I was able to buy. So yes, it was a good source of income. And I was earning, me and my friend were earning the same amount that our friends were getting from the on-campus placement, right? So, but still I did not go ahead with full-time freelancing career after my graduation, because I had taken good experience in freelancing for the 2 years, and I realized that in freelancing you are quite alone. You don't have a senior from whom you can get guidance, and somewhere you are restricting your knowledge, because when you go in a company, you have seniors, you have managers, and especially when you are in very early stages of your career. I was just like 22 when I graduated, right? So at that time I did not want to restrict my environment to myself and my friend, right? Because we are still 22, right? We are just graduates, and we did not have the experience of deploying applications to large scale production, like the apps which will be used by millions of users. And for that acted as one of the reason why I chose to stop freelancing for some years, because I wanted to get some good experience of scale, right? We were just using Firebase, Supabase, Flutter, Node, Express. So these tools are good, and we were just deploying for the users, like let's say 100 users, 1000 users, right? Or max 5000 users. So here I was not learning how to scale up an application, how to work in a team, right? So for that I chose to take a break and pause my freelancing, and I went ahead and became a mobile team lead in a health tech startup. And I chose with the startup itself, because in my early stages of my career I wanted to go ahead with startups, because in startup you get a lot of responsibility. As soon as I graduated, I was handling the complete mobile app project. I built POCs. I had 2-3 interns under me. So that was a good part. So 2 things over here that can work very good for you. Try freelancing in your college for sure. If you think that you have cracked it and you don't care about the scale and the production experience, you can choose freelancing. But at least get 4 to 5 years experience working in a startup. You want to, at some point of your life, you want to become an individual contributor, individual person, individual expert. Then working in a startup is very important. But if not, if you just want to crack an MNC and you have cracked it and you just want peace in your life and you want to continue working there, then this whole video is not for you. Then just go ahead, do DSA lead code, and you crack an MNC and you will have a very good life, right? I'm talking to those who want to become individual contributors, entrepreneurs, founders, startup contributors, freelancers, the indie solo devs. Okay, so I think I've covered all of the things that I wanted to cover. Mainly this was the reason why I shifted to corporate for some years, and still now also I'm working in a startup. We're a team of 20, and I'm working as a developer relations engineer over here. So I'll be working in the full-time corporate itself for some years, and after that I'll think to how to again resume my individual contribution journey. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something new in this video. Till the next video, keep coding, keep innovating, and thanks a lot.